Hari Om, everybody. Last week we resumed our studies of chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, starting with verse 50. From 50 to 53, Bhagwan is concluding the topic of Karma Yoga by giving the Falashruti. Because when we are asked to do anything, we always say, okay, what is in it for me? So if Bhagwan is asking Arjun to follow Karma Yoga, then Arjun should know what the result will be of Karma Yoga. Because Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga, he knows the result is liberation. And so Bhagwan is also now trying to tell him that Karma Yoga also will ultimately lead you to the same goal. That's why in 50 he says, endowed with wisdom. And this is the wisdom of how to convert karma into Karma Yoga by the method and attitude. Attitude of Ishwararpana Buddhi, surrendering the action to any higher altar, and without any anxieties, worries of the past, anxieties of the future. So remaining in the present, when that is the method, I do the action, it will give external results, but the internal results will come. Jahatiya ube sukrita dushkrita. All the good and evil deeds will be washed off, meaning there will be no more vasanas created in the mind. I told you there is an internal result and an external result of karma. External result is in the material world, whatever that you want. But the internal result of karma is bondage. Internal result of karma is bondage, because karmas, when they are done with doership, they create more vasanas, which tie us to this realm of birth and death. So when you convert that karma into Karma Yoga, it is not, it will give you the external result because you're doing it without any worries. So external result will come with the internal result in the form of not formation of new vasanas. So the internal result is not, it is a not, it's a negative. No more vasanas created. That is the internal result. So, and that also will give peace of mind. So when those vasanas are not created, we are purifying our mind. What does it mean by no more vasanas created? Means there will be less and less agitation in the mind. And therefore, Bhagwan is telling him that this yoga is the dexterity in action. What yoga? Karma Yoga. Converting karma into Karma Yoga is the skill in action. We think skill in action is how much I can achieve in the external world. That is my skill. You know, if I increase the sales of the company or whatever, you know. So, but according to Bhagwan, he says it's the internal result. That is what is the measurement of dexterity in action. The less vasanas you create, you are more proficient, you're more efficient in the action that you're doing. And that action has to be Karma Yoga. And then he says that the wise possessed of this knowledge. So here I told you, wise is not the wise who know that, who have realized, because if they have realized, there is no need for Karma Yoga for them. So if we are talking of Karma Yoga, then the wise would be those ones who know how to convert karma into Karma Yoga. They will be freed from the fetters of birth and death. Why? Because their vasanas will be cleansed and cleansed to an extent where the knowledge will very easily arise in their mind, and they will not be subject to the cycle of birth and death anymore. And they will reach that post which is beyond disease. I told you, it's not a post, it's not a place, it's not a loka, it is moksha, because that means they have, the diseases are there in the body, in the mind and the intellect. If they have gone to a post beyond this, beyond the causal body, in Om there are no diseases. That means you've reached Om. So body diseases we know, mental mind diseases are the Shadripu, the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, etc. And at the causal level, the disease is ignorance of the self. So if he says you will cross over, you will go to a post which has no diseases, that means there is no body, mind, intellect. Because wherever there is disease, understand there is body, mind and intellect. Because there is no disease in Om, there is no disease in the Supreme Self. And then Arjun, naturally the question would come, when will I reach that post? Okay, not in 6 months, or say it could be 6 months, 6 years, 6 births, 6,000 births. It's when your mind, when your intellect will cross over the mire of delusion. What is the delusion? I am the body, mind, intellect. That is the delusion. And it will become dispassionate towards what has been heard so far and yet to hear. And that clause is the qualifying clause. Because I can very well claim, they might not me, but somebody can claim that I am very dispassionate towards whatever I have experienced so far in my life. Do you know what is going to come further on? And that part is what makes it very difficult. Dispassion, and dispassion has to arise out of discrimination. If it arises out of some shocking news, what we call smashan vairagya, it will not last. It'll be there for a while, but then after time, as time goes, the sorrow will reduce and the dispassion also will reduce. But if it has arisen out of knowledge, not knowledge, knowledge of Sat and Asat, what is really real, what is really, really good, what is not good, it will stay. So that's why that dispassion out of discrimination is more important. And then he says that when your buddhi becomes nischala, it becomes steadfast in the self, at that time, buddhisada yogam avapsasi, you will attain self-realization. So see, the goal, ultimate is self-realization. So karma yoga also will give self-realization via, and jnana will also. So the goal is the same, okay? So he has actually completed his teaching now. Because he gave the teaching from the highest standpoint, then he brought it very low to the duty standpoint, and then he gave the bridge. He told the bridge between that performance of duty and self-realization. Because your own duty, I told you, again I repeat, karma yoga is not a special karma that you pick and you do. It's not like I'll be on the board of the mission and that's my karma yoga. No, it is not that. It is your own duty done in a special way. Okay, so that is the bridge. There is duty, then there is the bridge, and there is jnana, and there's self-realization. So this bridge he has explained, and now Arjun has a question. Maybe he paused for a minute. Our Acharya would say maybe he wanted a drink of water, and Arjun took that opportunity. Okay, maybe I'll also have a drink of water. I'm really thirsty. Yeah? So, and then Arjun said, okay, now it's my chance. Let me interrupt him. Let me ask him a question. And we'll see what are the shades of these questions. Superficially, this looks like it actually looks like a stupid question. But when we study the answers, we come to know that the question is not that superficial. It's very, very deep. Arjuna vacha. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthita dhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Arjuna said, what, O Keshava, is the description of him who has steady wisdom, who is merged in the superconscious state? How does one of steady wisdom speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? So there are 4 description. Yeah, description. There are 4, or you can make it into 5 questions. But on the surface, it seems like 4 questions, which is fine. So Arjuna, Rujutvat Arjun, one who is straightforward. So whenever Arjuna has asked a question in the entire Bhagavad Gita, it is not to figure out how much the teacher knows, or to show the teacher how much I know, but it's a genuine doubt that he has, and that's why he has asked for. He's a straightforward person. Arjun was very straightforward. So that is Arjuna. Now, the first word that comes here is Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha. Sthita Prajna. This is the first word of this verse. And this word has not been used by Bhagwan at all so far, which indicates that this is a word that is coined by Arjun himself. So the meaning of that word, Sthita Prajna, Sthita steady, Stha dhatu, Stha. Tishtati comes from there, Ashwa, the horse. Horse always is standing up, right? So this stha dhatu means staying, means the one who's, okay, staying. What is staying? Prajna, intellect. So the one whose intellect is very firmly rooted in the self. That's why because in the previous verse, Bhagwan said, when his intellect will be nishchala, it will not move, it will not shake. And I told you, intellect can shake by people outside saying some things, or intellect can shake from within also. Within also you might think, oh, I'm doing all this, what, nothing has happened, etc. So both ways intellect is. So when he says Sthita Prajna, he has understood that this person, his intellect is now not going to shake. Whether things are coming from outside or whether things are coming from inside, he is a Sthita Prajna. So this word he has coined, which tells us that he actually has understood the teaching from the beginning. Because he has understood there is somebody whose intellect is sthita, and therefore he has coined this word. This is the only place it appears. Sthita Prajna word does not apply in the does not come in the entire Gita after this. Bhagwan doesn't use this word. It is his word. So he says Sthita Prajna ka bhasha. Bhasha, how is he described? Bhasha means language that way, but bhasha is you use language to describe somebody. So he says, Samadhistasya Keshava. So Keshava here, Keshava is one emitting light. Or Keshava also means one of curly hair. But here interpretation should be one who is emitting light, because idea is that you know all this. Also Keshava, Ka represents Brahmaji, Sha represents Shivji, and Va represents Vishnu. So you are the controller of all three, or you are all three. That way also we can take it. But here the one emitting light, Keshava. Samadhisthasya, when he is in samadhi. So here this question can be divided into A and B. So here's a description of who is merged in the superconscious. Okay, so he's in samadhi, because what we know of samadhi means he's meditating and now he's gone into samadhi. So what is the meaning of samadhi to the person? Suppose he is in samadhi, how would you describe him? That's one thing. Or how does he himself, what does he define as samadhi? See, when I use the word samadhi, the first thing that will come to everybody's mind is a person who is in meditation and he has reached that superconscious state. Okay, so that is the meaning of samadhi. Now the question is that, is that the meaning of samadhi for this Sthita Prajna? Means, is he, once he realizes, is he just going to sit in that position and do nothing forever? Suppose if the meaning of samadhi is that means he'll go into, into Himalayas, or go into whichever mountain, and he will just sit. And is that what it means to him? Yeah, of course, to me, it means a person who is sitting and this thing. Okay. Then the thing is, does he ever come out of that state? Or is he just going to go and that's it, now done? Will he come out? If he does come out of that state, then how does he speak? So superficially, will he now suddenly know Sanskrit or Latin? Maybe he's so suddenly now, Sanskrit will start coming out of him, or what will come? So how does he come out of samadhi ever? What does samadhi does samadhi mean that he will just go sit and that's it? Nobody will hear from him, or that is not the meaning of samadhi for him. So he will be coming out of that state. If he comes out, will he speak or will he moan? No speaking. And if he speaks, then what will he speak? What will he speak? This is what it is. How does he sit? Padmasan, Shavasana, on the table, on the chair, Shirsasana, upside down? No. How does he behave? Sit is, what is his intellect firm in? Where is, there is one physical sitting that we have. But your mind also, doesn't it sit in some value? You have some values, right? Where your mind intellect is fixed in that I have to be honest. So your mind is sitting in there. So there is not just a physical sitting, but there is also a mental sitting, an intellectual sitting. Where do you stand? Like now elections are there. So what is your position in this election? Like for an audience, who are you going to vote for? Means where is your intellect sitting, in which candidate, in which party, that way. So that is what the meaning of this sit. How does he walk? Does he just hop, hop, hop? Or does he walk slowly? Or does he walk like Mahatma Gandhi, dum, 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 fast? Does he walk at all? Does he go anywhere? So the walk superficially is a physical walk, but walk is, we have a saying, you have to walk the talk, is behavior. How does he behave? This is the depth of these questions. And the reason that I'm telling you these, because I have heard the answers and you also have heard the answers. So you should know that this can't be a very superficial question. Now the question also is there. Why is he asking this question? See, he coined the word Sthita Prajna, which means he understood the whole teaching. You have understood. So why you're asking Bhagwan again to enumerate all these characteristics? Because basically what he's asking is, I want to know the characteristics of a man of realization. Sthita Prajna, from now on, I'll be saying man of realization, okay? Or a self-realized person. Why are you asking? You coined the word. That means you understood. So why are you asking? So there are various shades. Now, these shades of that I'm telling you, Bhagavan Shankaracharya would never delve into these type of arguments. He doesn't. No, his commentary is only sticking to the knowledge part. But then there are many, many commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, and that's the fortune that we had, is our Acharya studied those commentaries. We didn't, but we got the gist of it. That's how we know that this sort of thinking. There is Anand Giri, there is Akhandanandji Maharaj. There are a lot of commentaries are there on Bhagavad Gita. Shankaracharya's commentary is the most glorified, but his commentary is only at the highest level of jnana. Even bhakti, his definition of bhakti is pertaining to jnana. So he has remained at that level. But then are these other commentators who will think, why did Arjuna ask this question? Okay, so 2-3 shades. One is he understood, but maybe he's doubting. Maybe he has a doubt. Bhagavan said all these things, but do you think really somebody like this exists? Doubt. So it could be, okay, Bhagavan, you know what? Tell me at one place all the characteristics of this one person. So I will firmly know that, yes, there is such a person, that such a person exists in this world. How do I know? You told me this is what happened, this is this, all these things you told me, but how do I know that there is any single person who is exhibiting these characters? So that is a question of doubt. Second thing is, Bhagavan, tell me all the characteristics. Maybe I am also Sthita Prajna. Let me compare. No, like you tell me one by one, you tell me. I will go and say, do I do this? Then I'm Sthita Prajna or I'm not. So maybe that is one shade. That maybe he wants to know. Who knows? Who knows? When I hear all these characteristics at one point, I might come to know that, hey, I'm exhibiting all these, man. I am a Sthita Prajna too. Or the other thing is, this one thing here is, these characteristics, when we study, they should only be used for self-evaluation. I've told you, Vedanta is always self-evaluation. Do not go on looking at, he's not, no. Oh, maybe he is, maybe he, that is not what is meant for. It's meant for our own internal thinking, internal mananam. And the last part, which is where we have to stand, is that Bhagwan, I understand that being Sthita Prajna is the goal. Tell me the characteristics so I can work towards them. And that's where we have to stand. And Arjun, being a straightforward person, chances are that is why he has asked. That Bhagwan, tell me, you have given scattered instructions of how the Sthita Prajna is, how a man of realization is. Now tell me at one spot so I can grasp them, I can remember them, and every time I go through a situation, I can compare my behavior to that. his behavior, and I can try to reach that post. Try. And that is the thing that we must study this portion. This is the most beautiful portion in this, the last portion this is. And that should be our reason for studying this, is that know the goal and then try to work towards it. Okay? Any questions? Everybody okay? All right. So the first question was, what does samadhi mean to a man of realization? Samadhistasya keshava, he asked. And 55 is answering that question. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanevatmana Tushtaha Stita Pradnyastya Dochate. The Blessed Lord said, when a man completely casts off, O Partha, all the desires of the mind and is satisfied in the self by the self, then he is said to be one of steady wisdom. So samadhi, I told you, we think samadhi is the person going and sitting somewhere in the forest or in the mountains. No, Bhagavan is saying a man of realization or samadhi means that his mind is extremely peaceful. See, if you break that word samadhi, samadhi, dhi is intellect, sama is equanimous. So one whose mind is extremely equanimous. When will the mind be equanimous? When there are no likes and dislikes. Why is our mind not equanimous? Because I have likes and I have dislikes. I don't like cold, I like heat, I don't like this. Mind can never be equanimous. As long as there are likes and dislikes. And as long as there are likes and dislikes, there will be desires. Because if you like something, you're going to desire it. If you don't like something, you're not going to desire it. So for a man of realization, samadhi, his intellect is so equanimous that, and why? Because there are no likes and dislikes at all. And that means there are no desires. Therefore, Bhagavan is saying that he has absolutely no desires. He is happy within himself. Atmanne vatmana tushtaha. Within himself is very happy. Why do we have desires? We'll come to that. Why we have, because this is okay. One thing I must tell you, all these verses are from the highest standpoint. Okay, they're from that, because he's describing a man of realization, a man who has already realized himself to be the self in all. He's not describing a seeker. He's not describing a karma yogi. Please understand. He is describing a man of realization. The Manishina, the Dhira Purusha, the Pandita, all those words that he had used, is describing that person. So such a person has absolutely no desires. And that is the meaning of samadhi to him. His intellect is extremely equanimous. Now let us see why he doesn't have any desires and why do we have desires. And we are studying this so that we can close the gap between him and me, right? Him and us. So we need to see all these points. So let us first start off with why he doesn't have any desires. So before I go into the actual, I want to give you an example, which all of us are very common with. It's a common experience of all of us. Dream. Okay, so all of us have at some point or the other has had a dream. And when the dream, while we are dreaming, it appears very, very real, whatever it may be. It may be a frightening dream or it may be a dream which makes me very happy. It appears very real. But the minute I wake up, I come to know that that thing was an illusion, that dream was an illusion. Will I have any desire either for the things in that dream or a desire to run away from something from that dream? Once I wake up, think. Maybe I've won a lottery ticket. Maybe a tiger is chasing me. In either case, once I wake up, will I desire the lottery ticket money, or will I want to be running up, still continue running? I was running in the dream. Will I still continue running after I wake up? I will have absolutely no desire. Okay. Now, Think of a man of realization. And one more point. What happens first? Does the waking up happen first, or does the realization that this was a dream, this was an illusion come first? What has to come first? Waking has, right? Waking has to come first. Because while you're dreaming, it is very real. While dreaming, you will never know that this dream is an illusion. While dreaming. So the first thing has to happen is the waking up. And when the waking up happens, is there a gap? You wake up and then you desire the lottery. And then say, hey, wait a minute, you know, after 5 minutes, do you think that that was an illusion? And now no, immediately. It's basically simultaneously these things are happening. But even though they are simultaneous, the first thing is waking up. Second thing is realization that it's an illusion. It's like, you know, right one after the other. There's no gap between the two. Okay? Clear? This is clear? This is our own experience. This is not Shastra experience. Now, let's see what Shastra says about the man of realization. So, man of realization is one who has woken up, as though woken up to that fourth state that Shastra talks about. There is the waking, dream, and deep sleep states, and beyond these is the turiyas, the state of realization. So he has woken up. Now, same way, like when we wake up from the dream, two things happen. We wake up and immediately we know the dream is an illusion. When the man of realization wakes up to that higher reality, two things happen for him too. He wakes up, immediately the world is proven to be false to him. Immediately, it's simultaneous. These are the two aspects of realization. One is you realize that the self in you is Brahman itself. What is realization? To know that you are that supreme reality, and that is the waking up that we talk about. When that awakening happens, immediately the world is falsified. Just like when I wake up from a dream, immediately the dream is falsified. But the waking up has to come first, the falsification comes after, even though it is simultaneously one after the other. It's simultaneous, but there is a hierarchy. The world cannot be falsified first, and then I realize. The dream cannot be falsified. While dreaming, I will never know that it is false unless I wake. Okay, now, just like once I wake up, will I desire anything from the dream, or will I desire to run away from anything? Once this man of realization, this man has realized, will he desire anything from this world which has been falsified for him? Will he have any desire? Think. See, the reason that we have desires is because we think the world is real. In the dream, why do I feel happy? All of us have felt all the emotions in dream. Why do I feel happy if I win a lottery ticket? Why do I feel scared when a tiger is chasing me? Why? Why should I feel those emotions? Because I think the tiger is really chasing me. Oh my God, there's a tiger behind me. Or, oh, geez, I want this, whatever, 10 million or whatever. I think it is real. That is the reason that we have desire. Why do we? Because the world is real for us right now. The world is real for us. And it will not get falsified. It will never get falsified until I reach that stage. Now, here the one thing that might come to our mind is, okay, it'll, you know, the desires will go once I because here the way he's describing it is, then he said, means once his desires go away, he's said to be a sthita prajna. It's said like that, but actually it is not. Like, he has become a sthita prajna, and that's why all the desires have gone. It's like that. So we might think, okay, I'll wait for all my desires to go away, then I'll be a sthita prajna too. You're waiting till the cows come home, like they say. You'll be waiting till the cows. The desires can never be fulfilled by satiating them. Manusmriti says the desires is like a fire. The desire is like a fire. The more you go on fulfilling that desire, the more you go on fulfilling that desire, the fire, you know, you add. That's why fire, one name of fire is anala. Anala means that which never gets satisfied. So fire, you go on adding oblations, wood and ghee and this and that. Oh, fire fire will keep blazing. Fire will keep on blazing. So desires are like that, like a tissue box. You pull one tissue, the next tissue is waiting. You see any desire you see, you go, you see what simple movie. You see the preview. Oh, I must see that that movie. You travel to one place, suddenly you hear somebody saying something else. Oh, now I want to go see that. Now I want to go see that. So this thought must never enter our mind that when all the desires are gone, I will be Sthita Prajna. They are never going to go. You will never become a Sthita Prajna. So it has to work the other way around. You have to wake up first. And then to wake up, of course, then the methods have been given, karma yoga, etc. Now, why do I have desires? Two things. One thing is, of course, I think the world is unreal. Second thing is, desires arise out of a sense of incompleteness. That's why this thing is there. Atmane vatmana tushta is santushta. Santushti is satisfaction, satisfied. So this Sthita Prajna is very happy within himself. He feels, he knows he's full. Why? Because he has merged with the full. It's like there is a river. No matter how big that river may be, once it merges into the ocean, does it, feel limited? Like I'm only this much or something. It's merged with the ocean. The ocean is infinite, deep, infinite. It becomes one. You cannot tell that this river is this and this water is this. No, they're all becoming salty now, just like the ocean. So he is so full inside. He's so complete inside. What desire will he have? See, the best example is you go and have a full meal, and I'll tell you this, there is this high tea place, and one of my friends, like, that's why I told you how this is how it, my one of my friends says, oh, you know what, there is a very good high tea place near your place. We drove by your house and it's there, and you should go have high tea. I said, okay, fine. And then also she told me that, oh, next door to it is the best ice cream place. So I decided, I said, I will go have high tea and then I will go have ice cream. I decided, I went for high tea. I was like, up to here, I couldn't even think of ice cream. So when you are full, you will never think of anything else outside. And the man of realization, he is full. He is completely satisfied. Tushtaha. Within himself, he is happy. When you're, when you're alone, not lonely, because in COVID times, all of us have been so isolated, and you're very happy being alone, then you never crave for company. You never wait for a phone call to come. You never wait for any TV show. When you're full within, you will not crave anything. You will not desire anything outside. Okay. So the reason that a man of realization, the meaning of samadhi for a man of realization is to be devoid of all desires. Devoid of all desires means what? Means his mind is quiet at all times. Okay. And this desire does not include need. Means he will eat. So you'll think, oh, what? He doesn't have, he's eating and he's drinking water and, tea. He might be liking tea, coffee, and he will ask for it. So ask for it. I want coffee. I want tea. That's okay. That's not a desire. So not those. And the reason that he has no desires is because he's full. He has woken up. That's why the world has been falsified for him. So one thing is, what will he want from this false world? What will I want from the dream? No matter how much I have in the dream, how much I earned in the dream, why will I want it after I wake up? So that is one thing. Second thing is he being extremely full himself. There is no incompleteness in him. Desires, no matter what desire it is, unless it is a need, understand there is some sort of incompleteness within. That's why that desire will come. So this is what samadhi means to a man of realization. So it is not just sitting. Yeah, of course, part of the day in the morning, it might be his practice. He might sit in samadhi. That also, of course, is there. But then when he's sitting in samadhi, then there is no interaction with the world at all. Okay. But we are talking of a man of, Arjuna is talking of a man of realization who is probably moving around in the world. Right? Otherwise, if Arjun thought that a man of realization is one who is just going to go sit in samadhi, then there is no question of saying, how does he talk? How does he walk? How does he do this, that, and the other? There's no reason to ask for any further questions. So he also is aware that probably this man of realization is walking around in the world somewhere. He's interacting in the world. And that's why that this question is there. So for us, never ever think that when all my desires are fulfilled, I will become a man of realization. You will not. Straightforward answer, no, that is not it. So what should I be doing? Try to reduce the desires. Try to reduce our desires. Okay, now desire is a thought. So for young parents especially, you're going to ask me, you think we shouldn't have desire that our children should go to school and get a degree, blah blah, whatever? No. That is not the point. Desire is a thought. Thought will be there. Let not that thought agitate you. That is the thing. Let not that desire agitate you. Now, how do I not let a particular thought agitate me, or a particular desire? Let's specify it as a desire, because there are thoughts of other people and things going on in the world and all. It's not that they agitate us or anything. Now there are thoughts of election. That's the latest now. There are only a few hours left for the political leaders to be campaigning, etc. So that the thoughts are there, but that is not agitating. At least not agitating me anyways. So not those. So what will agitate me or anybody is the desire thought. So when I have the desire, one of the things that helps is to know that whatever is in destiny can never be avoided. Have the desire. I'm not telling you don't have the desire. Huh? Definitely have the desire that your children should go to school. They should, do well. They should go for higher studies. They should go whatever. But let it not agitate you. Let it not agitate. See, yesterday only in our Saturday class, one mother said to me, now see, her son is graduated from Toronto. He got a job in Vancouver, which is her only son. So he wanted to stay in Toronto, but anyway, he got a job in Richmond. So he came back. He's living at home. He's volunteer. She told me he volunteers with the people of Down syndrome, adults, and every Sunday he goes volunteers. Now she says to me, I said, good, that's very good. He's on the right path. She says, but you know what? I want him to go into spirituality. Somebody told him something and now he's turned off. This kid is a Balvihar child. Huh? Our Balvihar child is. And when he got his first paycheck, he actually told his mother, his mom said to him, you should donate to the temple. He said, I want to donate to the mission. Instead of donating to the temple, my first paycheck, my first donation, I want to, and he actually came to my house and gave me the check. Both mother, daughter, son. Now see, now this child is working, staying at home, work. Now the mother, little, I said, let go. Let go. Do not agitate. He's on the right track. Volunteering, maybe he's doing it at doorship. Doesn't matter. He will outgrow. He will grow. See, he's doing karma, but he probably, I have not spoken with him directly. So I don't think he has the thing that I'm not the doer and this is happening through me. That attitude, the karma yoga attitude, he doesn't have, but he's on the path to karma yoga because he's volunteering. He's giving his time, right? So this is how these desires will keep on cropping up and agitating you. Be happy with what you have. I said, you wanted him in your house. Isn't he now in your house? Aren't you? I said, enjoy. And now she's worried. Oh, he might get a job somewhere. I said, don't think, project into the future. That's what happens. I said, why are you not enjoying the present? Why are you not? See, by projecting into the future and worrying about the future, I'm losing my present also. She says, yeah, I should. I said, yeah, cook whatever he wants to eat, whatever whatever, he's doing the right things. What's the problem with you? But this is how parents have problems. He's doing the right thing, but now I simply want him to, it's okay, it will come. Spirituality will come. So understand that whatever is to happen, and especially with children, they have, each one of us, I'm not saying children, each one of us has come with our own destiny, and that destiny will unfold at the time when it is supposed to. Have that faith in God. Have that faith in prarabdha, have that faith in destiny, and that will calm your mind down. Not saying don't have desire, okay? But keep your mind calm. Then you're on the way. Then you're on. Calm mind is the number one requirement for realization. Peace of mind. All right? Okay? Any questions? Mm-hmm.
Jayaji, I
One
want
sec.
to...
Shivram had a question, Tripti. So just one sec.
Okay.
Yes, Shivram, go ahead.
Can't hear him.
I can't hear you. I can't. Can anybody hear? Dinesh,
No.
Do you have your headset attached to the computer? You're unmuted, but can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, Jayaji?
Now I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's
so,
okay,
Jayaji,
no worries.
I was just debating with this thought while you were explaining about desire, experience, and a realized person. So, experience is something that is going to happen. Normal person with an experience, it leads to desires. But how does a person who you call a sthita prajna, you said he can still be in the society, still the experience is going to come, but the desire is not there. That can you sort of explain? That is bothering my...
It's a good question. See, you have to understand one thing. Let's go back to dream. The dream was false, yet it gave me an experience. Did it not?
Yes.
So the point to remember is that false also can give you an experience. Just because it is false doesn't mean you can't have an experience. Now, with a man of realization, he has realized the entire world to be false immediately.
Okay.
So that when the experience comes, he knows that the experience is coming from a false thing.
Okay.
And the one, not only that, you go one step ahead, deeper if you go, he also knows that the one who is experiencing is also false. Will he desire?
Okay. Thank you, Jayaji.
You have to always remember that false can give experience. That is, the experience makes us feel that this world is real. Because I actually am feeling cold, so I think, oh, that's real.
Okay.
Yes, Tripti.
What I was asking was that Arjun, when he asks this question, what he means is that there is a possibility of such people being in this world, not like, as you said, sitting in the Himalayas and just sitting, or in Samadhi going off somewhere. So that means that in this world, when we are moving around in this society, he can have this kind of a self-realized person walking among us. So that is what I just wanted to...
Oh yeah, my God, Gurudev was walking around us. Swami Vivekananda, Eckhart Tolle, if you know, David Hawkins.
Yes.
They're all realized masters. Yeah. No, for us, samadhi means when we say the word samadhi, then we think, okay, somebody has gone in the corner and sitting there. So that's why Arjun is saying, what does he? So what does samadhi mean to him? Okay. Yes, Prit.
Also for the dream example, I just wanted to clarify, for us in our dreams, we wake up, but then the following night we go back into the dream and forget all of that stuff. But in this example, once we wake up, there's no going back to sleep, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Any other questions? Clear? Okay. So let me read the next verse. We will go into an explanation later, but let me at least just, since we have time. Now the question is that is what samadhi means to him, which means that he is moving around in the world. Okay, now, because what is samadhi? Absence of desires is samadhi for him. And why is there desires? Why are the desires absent? Because he's satisfied within himself. Or he has also woken up. The world has been falsified. So there's nothing to desire in the falsified world. So he's moving around. Now, how does he be? How does he move around? How does he react to situations? Dukkeshva anudvigna manaha, sukheshu vigataspraha, vitaraga bhaya krodaha, stitadir muniruchate. He whose mind is not shaken by adversity, who does not hanker after pleasures, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady wisdom. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha. Udvigna means agitation. Udvigna. Like I'm agitated. When you add this an prefix, it becomes opposite. So anudvigna manaha means not agitated. So what is he not agitated by? By dukkha. What are we most agitated by, right? When sorrow comes to us. Sorrow, as we know, can come at 3 different levels. Internally, adhyatmic, so there could be a disease of the body, fever, cold, chest, whatever, pneumonia, etc., etc. That is one dukkha. Second dukkha is things that are caused by things around us. And of course, right now, if the electricity were to go off or my internet were to, that would be an example of, adi bhautik. And then there is adi daivik. And adi daivik is, we saw Hurricane Ida and Hurricane Henry, and Hurricane Nicholas has also come in Texas recently. So where we have no control over, absolutely no, we don't have any control over hurricanes. Things around us, we have a certain amount of control, certain amount. Actually, on all 3, we have no, they're all adhina, dependent on prarabdha. They're all dependent on prarabdha, our destiny, our own destiny. But, I can at least take reasonable care of my body so that I don't have a fever, a cold, and that sort of thing. I can pay my hydro bills, I can pay my internet bill so that my internet doesn't get cut off or this thing. But yet, there could be a tree falling on the wire outside due to wind, and then there's no hydro this thing, or then hurricanes internally. So these are the 3, the same, because the man of realization is walking around in the same world as we are. There is not suddenly a different world that is created where he is walking in a different world and we are. So these 3 sources of sorrow will also come to him. And we have seen Gurudev had heart surgery, Ramakrishna Paramahansa had cancer. We have seen this. So when he doesn't get agitated. What is the difference? People are afraid, to step out of the house, COVID. So we get agitated. He doesn't. So the same reasons are there. One thing is, he knows that this is my prarabdha. Actually, Sant Tukaram, in this Manache Shlok, which I have quoted, verses to the mind, there's one verse where he says that the sorrow of the body should make you happy, should make us happy. All those people, there was a big discussion even before this lecture happened for us. How can that be? The reason is that when a sorrow is coming to you, when a dukkha is coming to your either a body or whatever, it is a result of papa karma that you have done. It is a result of bad karma that you have done. So when you go through that experience of sorrow, what is getting exhausted is the bad karma. So that is the joy that you should have. That, oh, this fever came to me. That means there is some bad karma that got exhausted now. Now I should bear this fever with forbearance, without complaining. The reason what happens to us is when anything comes to us, we complain and we create another vasana. Now, a man of realization, one thing he knows that, hey, this is the prarabdha of my body. My body has to go through this fever. My body has to go through this headache. See, our Swamini Krishnananda, because I know her, Bombay, she was posted in 60 years old, she got COVID. And she died, she passed. So because I have seen her, she got sannyas when I was in Sandipani. That's when she was given the diksha and she was there and all that. So I wrote to a common friend. I know my friend knew her very well. And that friend who's also a dentist, so she wrote to me back. She said, but you should have seen her, how bravely she faced. She was in the hospital. Apparently they were, I don't know, they were doing all kinds of treatments and all. But she said, you should have seen her, how she faced. that thing. See, that is the difference. We would have been, complaining this, that, all that. But that's where you know that there is quite a bit of firmness. She was a sannyasini, so obviously, and brahmacharini for so long, and then sannyasini, right? So that is how. So the man of realization, he will get it, because the prarabdha of the body doesn't go anywhere. The knowledge does not take away prarabdha of the body. Please understand. Knowledge takes away sanchita karma and agami karma. So whatever was accumulated in the past and whatever is going to come in the future, it burns down. But what is prakarshena arabdha, what has begun already in this birth, that knowledge cannot affect it. This the man of realization knows extremely well. So he's saying, that's good. My prarabdha is getting exhausted. And because once it fully exhausts, this body will drop. I will finally merge into the Supreme Self. Let it get exhausted. And that's the reason he doesn't get agitated. Okay? And other thing is, one thing, he knows it's false. That realization has come right away. That whatever is coming and whoever is experiencing is also false. Body is also false. No? Body, mind, intellect is part of the world. So his prajna is very sthita in these thoughts. Sthita, that's why even we can be very much steady in this. Whatever is happening is out of my own prarabdha, so no blame game. I myself have done actions that have now resulted in this result. I should accept it without complaints. I should accept it with fortitude. I should accept it with the thought that, hey, good, my papa karma is getting exhausted. It's good. Because every time a happiness comes, know that your punya karma is getting exhausted. So you're exhausting punya left, right, and center. Every time, if every time you want only happy, 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 you're taking from that pool of punya karma and it will exhaust one day. And human birth is 50%, 50-50. So, if all your life goes happy, 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 your punya is finished. Then at the end, only papa is coming up. So you don't want that. Let it come when I'm young and when I can bear the pain, let it come so that my papa comes. So this sort of thoughts we should be sthita in. That'll help. That'll help. And this wisdom should come immediately when it happens to us, not when it happens to others. Okay? I mean, you should have that wisdom, but don't go on telling them anything. I'm telling you because I'm in class. Otherwise, so when you have this, these agitations will not be there. We will continue with this verse next time.